it's been sort of a whirlwind. The truth is, everybody who's in healthcare knew the crisis was coming and that there was going to need to be an all hands on deck sort of response from the military to help support the civilian efforts. When we first got the call, we got sent to Kansas City, Missouri as a staging area. We anticipated that we were going to be sent to the West Coast, and based on the urgency on the East Coast and our close proximity to New York City, Stamford, Connecticut was highlighted as the next hotspot that required our services. And then we were sent back east, and we landed in Fort Dix and then shot right up 95 to land here in Stamford, Connecticut, which, by the way, is my home state originally. I grew up in this state, so it is great to be back here taking care of other people from Connecticut. Well, as a healthcare provider, it's always an honor and a privilege to help shepherd people down the road to recovery, for sure. But you're exactly right. It's a special privilege to take care of people that are close to home. And the truth is, I think anybody who puts on the military uniform expects that over the course of their career, they're going to be called to help protect and defend the ideals of our country. But it's rare for us to get to do it on our home soil. So not only being here in the United States, taking care of people that are our brothers and sisters, but also being able to do it in my home state is a very special privilege. So one of the first lessons that you learn in being in the military is the ability to improvise and do more with less. And I think being in a mobilization situation, being in a deployment situation, there are expectations that there are going to be challenges that are going to be thrown at us with limited resources. So having that background of being used to overcome and adapt is an important part of this, and doing healthcare against a foe. COVID virus is a foe that we've never dealt with before, that presents pathology and clinical scenarios that we've never had to treat before. So we're constantly being on the cutting edge of the treatment delivery and learning new things on the fly. I've heard the old adage that we are building this plane as we fly it, and I think that's very true. It's been astounding. Truthfully, getting an opportunity to come and work in a new environment is always fraught with challenges, but going into a system, being a guest in somebody else's house and trying to find an opportunity to facilitate and help and support any way we can, being new to the physical location, the integrating with the staff, learning the local environment, practice patterns, the resources they have, there's tremendous amount of things to learn about and try to develop comfort with. And the staff here has been amazing. Gracious hosts, so appreciative of our role here that it's made our job extremely easy. And I think since this is one of those situations where no matter where you live in the planet, no matter what culture, religion, race, creed you come from, nobody's immune to this. We are all dealing with this together, and that really has galvanized the community. And it's inspiring to be able to walk down the street and anybody that you come in contact with is dealing with that same scenario. So it really has been an amazing and, like I said, astounding experience to be able to come here and welcomed with open arms and to be brought into this local family to help fight this common foe. Developing that human bond has been amazing. We know not only because of the requirements for quarantine, but because of all this protective gear, it has anonymized a lot of us, and it creates such a sense of isolation, getting opportunities to make that human connection, taking pictures. Some of us even wear our pictures on our PPE so that people can see what we look like without our masks on, has been just a whole new world from that human connection standpoint. So I think that's one of the memories I'll take with me for the rest of my career and probably the rest of my life. Let me tell you about some of the challenges that we've been dealing with treatments. The truth is, since we are in uncharted waters, we are learning as we go what treatments work. And this ranges from everything from immunotherapy to antimicrobials like antivirals and antibacterials, including using blood products like plasma and anti-inflammatory immunomodulators. And the reality is, as we go down this path, we're learning more and more literally not just by the day, but by the hour sometimes we're getting updated. And it's been fascinating to get to work with our civilian counterparts, because much like politics, a lot of medicine is local, and there is very much a delineation between the art side and the science side of medicine. And we're really getting to see where those boundaries get pushed as we start to recognize where things are going. And it's always inspiring to hear that song, because that's another indicator that somebody else has defeated COVID-19. So it's a victory march for us right now hearing that. It is a whirlwind of emotion, because again, it helps us to immediately feel that sense of joy that somebody else has come through the storm, through the fight, and made it to the other side. And I think it's a reminder too of all the people who weren't able to be there, and to not let their deaths be in vain, and to appreciate literally everything that we're blessed with on a daily basis. So I think in those short 5 or 10 seconds, it's a storm of emotion, of happiness and commemoration. One other thing I would like to say is sort of talking about the local non-Stamford Hospital response that we've seen. You know, people have been super friendly and welcoming, and I think it's always alarming when, even if it's your own military, to see people walking around your town in uniform and stuff like that. So you know, the honks and the cheers and that sort of stuff goes a long way. So something to the effect of you know, and you don't have to ask it, but you know, setting up the question of hey, what's been you know, the local response to your presence, and how, because it does, it makes our job easier. Yeah, so we have been absolutely blessed. The truth is, anybody who works in the fight against COVID feels the beatdown on a daily basis. These are long, grueling shifts, dealing with everything from limited resources, the physical restraints of all the PPE, the emotional challenges with sometimes fighting a losing battle can be overwhelming. And I will tell you, I know that the general population, the communities don't hear this enough, but those small gestures like a honk of a horn or a cheer or signs on their front yard, you know, saluting the efforts of the healthcare workers and their military, go a long way in rejuvenating us, and it re-inspires us every day as we're walking to work to try to fight the good fight. So thank you guys for all of that. The other side of everybody being affected by this is that we have that common goal and that common bond, and it really unites us as a society. It's this fraternal response that, you know, just walking down the street, there's that acknowledgement that we're all in this together. And I think that's an important message to get out, because this disease isolates people by literally and figuratively, and it's a lonely process. It's a dark road many times on the road to recovery. Nights are always worse than days, and it's a real challenge. So getting that opportunity to see people from all walks of life, the highest levels of the socioeconomic ladder to the most sort of underserved, socioeconomically challenged people, and everyone in between.